All right, so we are in the interview portion of the show. We are joined by Bellator bantamweight fighter, Chicago native, Arlington Heights, maybe I should say.
Yep, absolutely.
It doesn't fucking matter. Danny, the Italian Gangster, Sabatello. Although I'll be honest, I shouldn't even say that because I question that you're fucking from here, dude, because you look like you're from Jersey or some shit.
No. Straight Chicago. I'll always rep Chicago no matter what.
Do you get that a lot, though, or people are confused?
Yeah, it's funny. The MMA community says that I'm from Jersey. Every time I see an interview and there's comments, people are saying, oh, he's a Jersey guy by the way he talks, by the way he carries himself. But that's just not the case. Fuck Jersey. Jersey can go fuck themselves. Chicago till I die.
I feel like there's some Purdue athlete vibes, though, that like do have Jerseyness to them. Like in my experience, I feel like Purdue athletes can be a little bit... loud, so to say.
No, absolutely. We're very hot-headed, and that's kind of how Jersey people are. They're a little bit more confident. That's kind of how I carry myself with my swagger. But, Chicago is very similar to Jersey. We're just a little bit better in every single way. But you know what? If someone wants to say that I'm from Jersey, I'll take it. But you're mistaken. I'm totally Chicago. So. Yeah.
And I'm very much a casual in the MMA game, dude. So I watch a lot of the big fights, and your last fight, you caught my eye, and then when I saw you're from Chicago, and I was just like, dude, there's no way. So we had to get you in here. So thanks for doing this. Thanks for hopping in. And we got to start at the front. This podcast, Redline Radio. We like to joke around. We probably talk about high school sports the most in any podcast, major podcast probably in the city, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like this is a big part of this is the identification that we have across the city. That's a fabric of the show from the very beginning stages. So then as Barstool got bigger and the show gets bigger and the office we're not departing from the roots. We will still talk high school football. We will still talk high school rivalries. Sick. That's just the way it is.
Who's killing it right now?
In high school?
Yeah.
Well, there's right now, this will already previously air right now, but there's a big matchup this weekend between St. Rita and Mount Carmel to go downstate for football.
Man.
ESCC.
So huge, yeah. Well, the Catholic League now, they were always in the Catholic League, but it's all merged as one. ESCC is kind of dead, and it's all rolled up into one. So, yeah.
Nice.
So you went to Vider, and then you transferred to Stevenson, right?
Yep, went to Vider for my first 2 years. That was always the whole plan growing up. I have two older brothers, Joey and Vinny. They went to Vider. They graduated before me. And then while I was at Vider, I was a big wrestler, and they dropped enrollments. So then they dropped class systems. And I wanted to be the best of the best. I wanted to be in the big school wrestling. I wanted to win state in the big class. I didn't want anybody to say that, if he was in the big class, he would have lost. I wanted to leave no doubt. And I dedicated my life to wrestling. So I had to transfer to Stevenson High School, which is awesome. I love both high schools. I rep them both. And then I won 2 state titles at Stevenson. No big deal, kind of a big deal.
Huge.
And then went on and wrestled Division I in the Big Ten at Purdue and graduated from there and then kicked off my fighting career.
Big fucking deal. What weight class did you win state at?
I won state my junior year, I believe 119, and then senior year 125. So a lot of cutting weight. Obviously in wrestling, that's not what you walk around naturally. You're cutting a shit ton of weight. It's torture. You got this fucking teacher talking about some bullshit that you don't want to think about. You're just thinking about how you're going to cut these last pounds. You're so dehydrated in class. But you know what? That's why wrestlers are separate from everybody else. That's why whenever you meet another wrestler and you're a wrestler, there's an immediate bond between the two. It's just kind of, you know what they're going through, you know what you've been through, and it's just awesome inside the wrestling community to have that bond with other wrestlers.
So talk bond for a second. The state tournament, I went to Illinois, and that's a legendary weekend because it's like, don't go out to the bars. The cops raid the bars. All the high school kids are down. The fights all over on campus. Just dumb high school kids doing crazy shit and then still showing up the next day and competing against themselves. At this broader level, like, how does high school wrestling across the Chicagoland area like prepare you? Now you beat up dudes for a living. When you're like running around and go up against like other Chicago kids, are you thinking about like the future, just like getting out and being like this really big badass, or like how does that evolution, or when does that click for you as like a Chicago kid like wrestling, or is it when you get to Purdue?
Yeah, absolutely. So for starters, Illinois is a massive wrestling state. It's probably top 3 in the country. Ohio's very good. Pennsylvania's very good. And then I would put Illinois at probably number 3. So just knowing that you're going up against elite competition, if you're going to do good, you're probably one of the best in the entire country. And that's what I was when I won state. I was one of the best in the entire country. But Throughout my whole life, throughout my whole wrestling career, I always knew once I graduated from college and was done with wrestling, I would transition right into fighting. You know, my first love my whole life is fighting. I think I'm a good wrestler because I'm a good fighter. So obviously I had to keep my focus, keep my goals in check in wrestling, had to accomplish what I wanted to do there before I started even thinking about fighting. But honestly, it's fucking hard to do it when you're taking a guy down and you just want to put your elbow through his fucking skull and you can't. You just have to put him on his back like some pussy shit. So I knew the whole time when I was wrestling, I would go into fighting. And I was kind of just counting down the minutes towards my junior and senior year of college. I just wanted to really get my hands on somebody and beat the shit out of them. So I tried keeping my focus as long as I could, but right after I graduated, I was full steam ahead on the fighting.
Were you fighting on weekends at St. Viator? Like, it's Friday night, fucking Danny's, fucking...
Yeah, when you have a good wrestler at your school, you kind of get this reputation of you can beat the shit out of anybody. So whether it was me starting a fight or any of my boys starting a fight, it always seemed like I was the one finishing it. If my boy was in over his head or there was more people that had the enemy's back, I always had to step in. But I love that. My guys will always be able to count on me. I'm a very loyal guy. You can always trust me. And my boys are the same way. The guys that I grew up with at Vitor, my freshman and sophomore year, are still some of my best friends today. In fact, my best friend right now, Chad, I convinced him to move down to South Florida with me, and he's a Vitor guy as well, and he's loving it. So, those are connections. Those are guys that you make bonds with in high school that you carry around your whole entire life.
Just two fucking maniacs fucking walking down South Beach.
Would you just look at me? Yeah. Are you one of the, or were you a look at me guy, or was it like somebody had to start shit with you, or were you looking to start shit?
No,
because you guys have the reputation of being like, dude, this guy, get a couple drinks in those wrestlers, and like some shit's going down in the back room at the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have some regrets and you have some stupid decisions you do as a kid in high school and college. But my junior year in college, I got in a bit of a trouble for getting in a fight. And I almost got thrown out of the university, which kind of was an eye-opener for me. I got in a bad fight and fucked a dude up pretty good. It was kind of a scary process because I almost got kicked out. And that was just going to be probably the biggest nightmare of my life. Mm-hmm. And ever since that happened, I don't ever start any fights. I'm never looking for trouble. If some drunk asshole at the bar throws his drink on me or something like that, I try to keep it calm. I try to keep it cool. I don't want to get in any more bar fights for the rest of my life. But sometimes, dude, if another dude draws the line, you have to put him in his place. At the end of the day, I'm a fucking man, and I'm going to stick up for myself, stick up for my boys, stick up for a girl if something happened. But yeah, I try not to get in any fights, but dude, sometimes it just fucking happens.
Yeah, no, that's such a young man's game, though. Like, you're right. Yeah, like there needs to be someone that warns you. Like, I always say that too. There should be, like, you've been to Laser Quest. Like, you know how they warn you before, like, you can't sit in the or light. There should be someone before who walks in and it's like, hey, this could, here's the ramifications if you someone spills a drink on you, this could happen to you if you curb stomp some dude. Like, you're going to go to fucking, if he goes to sleep, like, you'll go to jail for, like,
yeah, absolutely. And it's usually the fucking idiots that don't even know how to fight that are starting the fight.
It's just not worth it, man.
And either way, at the end of the day, the fight doesn't usually happen because when push comes to shove and you actually get in the guy's face and you say, hey, listen, how about me and you just go outside, fuck your boys, leave them here, I'll leave my boys, we'll just go out and we'll settle this. They'll find a way to not fucking actually throw down and fight. They just want to throw one punch in the bar and then have it get broken up. So nobody's really about that life. But either way, I don't even want to be caught up in it at all.
Not worth it, dude. Now, the question, you said you just couldn't wait your last 2 years there at Purdue because you always just knew you wanted to put your hands on people. Do you think it's going to be kind of the new age? Like, because were you training like kickboxing and shit by then, or were you still just kind of dead focused, locked in on wrestling? Is that a thing, or it's like, no, you need to focus on what you're getting your tuition paid for?
Yeah, to be successful in wrestling, you need to have your life absolutely dedicated to it. So I wasn't taking any kickboxing classes or jiu-jitsu or karate or Muay Thai or anything like that. I was full steam ahead with wrestling. And then right when I graduated, that's when the flip switched. I actually moved here to Lakeview. I lived at 3450 North Lakeshore Drive, which was like a half a mile away from Wrigley Field. That was in 2016, okay? I vividly remember after the Cubs winning the World Series, which was the coolest thing that I've ever witnessed in my entire life, everybody coming together, no matter what your stance is, your gender, your race, ethnicity, anything. Everybody came together that night, and it was just Chicago. It was the coolest thing ever. I was fucked up for probably a week straight. I was getting hammered. I was doing some stupid ass shit. And it was then that I realized, you know what? If I want to accomplish my goals in fighting and live out my dreams, I need to make a big fucking move. And that's when I realized, you know what? Chicago was home. Chicago's the shit, but it might be best for me to get out of here. I party too much. I need to focus on myself. There's not any really huge MMA gyms in the Chicagoland area, so I got to do it big, and I did do it big. I went to the best gym in the world, an American Top Team that's down in South Florida, and I didn't really know anybody. I knew nobody at the gym. I didn't even know anybody that lived in Florida. I kind of just showed up on their doorstep and hoped that they would let me in, and they did, and it's been awesome.
So do you have to
since.
fight someone when you show up day one, or what does that look like? Or you show up and they're like, all right, well, what's your background, or is it an interview process?
Well, I did a little bit different. You're supposed to be accepted to the gym. You're supposed to reach out to them, see if you're accepted. I moved down there, and I snuck into the building, and I snuck into a class. And it's funny to this day because Richie, the GM, found me, and he was like, who the fuck are you? What are you doing here? And I'm like, oh, I train here now. And I didn't even know he was the GM. I thought he was just some guy just saying, who are you? And I was like, oh, no, I train here now. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, that's funny. No, I'm the fucking GM. Come talk with me. We go to his office. I explained to him everything. I was like, listen, I'm a Division I Big Ten wrestler. I just moved from Chicago. I need to train here. I need to accomplish my goals. And he's like, listen, we'll give you a little trial period. So I had to have a little tryout for a week or so. And then obviously I killed it, and they let me in.
But now, is that the future though? Because you won state twice. You're 18 years old, you win state twice. Granted, you probably became much more of a polished wrestler, but I don't want to say this a knock on you because obviously you're such a great wrestler, but people want to say if there is a knock, oh, you're good on the ground, you're not a striker. But if you did go straight from high school to being a kickboxing training, and you did become more polished in everything, is that the future to do that and not go straight to wrestling all the way through? Is that the future?
Yeah, maybe. It's hard to say. MMA is becoming more mainstream, so I think the jig is up. Everybody is a fan of it now. Everybody follows it. Anytime there's a big card, everybody's talking about it, getting reservations at a bar or a club for it. With me, I am a wrestler by design, and that is my background, but I think my hands are just as good. Mm-hmm. People don't understand because they're fucking idiots and they don't understand fighting. It's very risky on the feet. Anybody can knock out anybody. Totally. If you take a little kid and he hits you as hard as he can to your face, boom, your lights are fucking out. I don't care who the fuck you are. So with me, it's almost like, why would I take the risk and be on the feet when I know I can take this guy down and just beat the shit out of him into a TKO or a submission? I'm not dumb. I do know that people want to see rock'em sock'em robots. People want to see someone die in that cage. I'm aware of that. When I'm walking out to the cage, I got people saying, you're going to fucking die or you're going to fucking kill this guy. It's fucking crazy. I know it. This is the entertainment business. They want to see somebody die. They want to see someone's head get blown off. But, to me, this is my profession. All I care about is becoming the best fighter in the fucking world. So I got to do what I got to do to be the best fighter in the fucking world. I do say my stand-up is just as good as my grappling. In this fight, I'll be able to show that. But again, a lot of the times, the smarter fighter wins. If you're so much better on the ground, why the fuck would you go on the feet? Mm-hmm. But my stand-up is very good. It's getting only better. I've only been doing it for 4 years now, but I still think that I'll be able to knock out any bantamweight in the world.
So when you go to the ground, can you, a novice like me, what's one or two things I should be looking for? Because to me, it's you guys just on the ground. It's so hard to follow. So what's your primary strategy, or what's something I can look for? Yeah,
just straight up control. If you're on top on the ground, you're winning. That's the bottom line. If you see a guy landing a bunch of strikes, obviously he's winning. If you see a guy go into a submission attempt, he's going to be winning. The scoring criteria in MMA is a little bit different. I don't think people completely understand that. But if you ever see a guy on top in a fight and the grappling exchanges, it's pretty likely that he's winning, unless the guy on bottom is throwing up all these crazy different triangle chokes and arm bars and leg locks like that. But with this fight coming up December 9th at the Mohegan Sun Casino with Raufeon Stots, Make no mistake, you're not going to be confused on who's winning the fight. It's going to be me bashing his fucking face in on the canvas repeatedly, and that's just what's going to happen.
Have you always been a heel? Or are you leaning into this role? Like, were you a cocky kid?
I mean, I don't really consider myself a heel. I'm just me. I do talk a lot of shit, but I talk a lot of shit whatever I do. You know, if we were to leave this room and go play ping pong, I'd talk shit to you. That's just who I am. I love talking shit. I like making things fun. I like making it interesting. But, you know, it is funny because whenever I meet people outside of the MMA world or anything like that, they're always saying, you know what, you're actually like such a nice guy to your friends and family, where of course I'm nice to my fucking friends and family. You see me interact with my family and I'm like the nicest fucking guy. Of course that. It's I talk shit to my fucking opponent. And I should. Everybody should. Yeah. These motherfuckers, these pussies that go inside the cage that hug their opponent and shake their hand before the fucking contest, it blows my fucking mind. This guy is trying to take away your hopes, your goals, your dreams, everything you've worked for. They're trying to smash your face on TV in front of your family. That's not going to happen. That's not my friend. That's not somebody that I'm going to shake hands with. I'm going to fucking hate you, and I'm going to talk shit. So that's just kind of how I'm wired. I know everybody's different, but everybody is also a pussy, so... yeah, I don't know. That's just who I am.
Well, is it real, though? Is the hate real, or is this something you're doing to help psych yourself up professionally? Like, do you sincerely, personally hate this Raufeon pussy?
Yeah, I sincerely do. You know, I'm going to hate every single fucking enemy and opponent that I ever have, no matter what. But this one just feels different just because I don't like exactly who he is. He's a fucking tryhard. Every time I go on Instagram or Twitter or anything, he's always commenting and liking everyone's posts. He needs such fucking gratification from having everybody like him, and he wants everyone to be a fan of his, and I'm the exact opposite. I don't give a fuck. You can like me, you can hate me. You think I give a fuck about that shit? He is somebody that, he wants to be buddy-buddy with them, and he'll give you a fake laugh if you tell a joke. I don't give a fuck. So we're very opposites. We're very opposite fighters. That's why it makes everything very interesting on this fight. It's a main event fight. Everybody realizes this is going to be one of the biggest fights in Bellator history, and it's definitely going to provide some fucking entertainment. I hope he's able to survive the first couple rounds, because I do want to torture this motherfucker. I want to make it bloody, and I want to give him stitches and scars on his face the rest of his life. But I hope I don't finish him quick, because I do want to torture him.
It's for $1 million, right?
The next one's for $1 million. So this is the semifinal. Okay. Bellator does this awesome Grand Prix tournament, which I don't know why other MMA promotions don't. You know, in every other sport, football, baseball, hockey, basketball, they do a playoff. That's to see who the best is. In MMA, you can kind of cherry pick who gets a title shot. You'll always have fans saying, but did he deserve the title shot and all that? No, fuck that. With this Bellator Grand Prix, it's, you think you're the best? All right, prove it. We're going to do a little fucking tournament, and you'll be able to prove who's the best. And right now, we're in the Final Four. Me, Raufeon Stots, some Russian, and some other bitch who also fucking sucks on the other side of the bracket. So the December 9th one is the semis, and that's going to be a big one.
Are you close with guys in other weight classes that you don't have to fight, or is it just this fucking chip everywhere?
Nope. I hate everybody except American Top Team teammates. You know, my guys at American Top Team is all I communicate with. That's all I care about. When we go to these fight cards and all these other fights, I see all these fighters buddy with other people, and that's just not who I am. Because I know, since American Top Team is a massive gym, we got a ton of pro fighters. If I'm talking to this fucking guy, Joe Matagatz, that's a lightweight, I know he's probably going to fucking fight my teammate, and I'm going to have my teammates back, so why the fuck would I try to be friends with this guy? I didn't get into this business. I didn't get into this game to make friends. I got into this game to beat the shit out of people. So everybody, unless you're American Top Team, can go fuck themselves.
Top Team. Arlovsky's in Top Team?
Yep.
Yeah, he's
absolute legend of the sport. We got a ton of guys. Junior Dos Santos is also legendary heavyweight. Moicano just had a big win. Dustin Poirier, who beat McGregor, is ATT. Jorge Masvidal is ATT. We got the best fighters in the world.
Yeah, Muhammad Lawal, he's another Chicago guy.
Yeah, he is. Is he Chicago? I think he's Milwaukee. No,
is he
Chicago?
I think he did. I think he maybe. I could be wrong. Maybe I got the wrong.
I don't know. He's not American Top Team, so he can go fuck himself.
What are fans like when guys come up to you and say, "What's up?" Like, what's obviously with like we know baseball, basketball, like with the hey, holy shit. Is it different for you guys because you're not necessarily ATT? You have a team, but people as fans don't identify necessarily like they like you. What's that like? People coming up to you in South Beach or you travel back to Chicago or just like in general, I suppose, like general stranger fan interactions like?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love the fans. I'll always, be nice. I give everybody an autograph, a picture, everybody that I come in contact with. But I do take it with a grain of salt because I know probably 5 minutes before meeting me, they probably just tweeted that I fucking suck and that they can't wait to see me die in the cage. So you never know people's real feelings. But again, I'm always going to be nice. You know, if you ride with me, if you're riding this Sabatello Mafia, then that's fucking awesome. You know, I'll be fucking awesome and I'll be there for you guys. It's going to be one hell of a fucking wave. But I do take everything with a grain of salt. Just because I know, you know, my last fight in Connecticut was also at the Mohegan Sun against Leandro Higo, and the entire crowd was fucking booing me. They were screaming at me. I was flicking off the crowd. It was fucking awesome. That's the shit that I want. But they were all booing me. They were hating on me, all this shit. And it's funny because later that night when I was getting fucked up at the casino, I had a bunch of people coming up to me asking me for pictures and autographs. So it's like, I know you motherfuckers were just booing me and hating on me, but now you want a fucking picture. Which, you know what? That's just it. That's the business I got in. I accept that. I'm going to be nice. I will give them the pictures and autographs, but I know half the people love me and half the people hate me.
What about Jersey Chasers?
Jersey Chasers are the best. You know, there's a lot of them. They're also fucking just as crazy. So sometimes you got to steer clear. You know, I'm 3 weeks out from probably the biggest fight of my life, so I'm trying to steer clear of that kind of shit. But
keep those legs strong.
But the DMs and, you know, like you're going into a fight, hey, I like the way you fight.
No, absolutely. But you can't even fucking entertain it, dude. I don't even check my DM. From now until the end of the fight, I probably won't check my DMs. I don't even want to think about it. I do think girls make your mind weak. I don't even want to go down that path.
Don't you get horny before a fight?
I mean, I'm always horny, of course. But, like, you can't even fuck with that. You really, in this business... Dude, I'm going in there and I could fucking die. I could get paralyzed. I could kill somebody. I could paralyze somebody. I got to be hitting on all cylinders. I got to have mental clarity to the fullest. So I can't even fuck with any of that shit. All I think about is just kill. You know, Thanksgiving is coming up next Thursday. I'm not going home. I'm not going back to Chicago to see my friends and family. I'll be in the fucking gym like a motherfucking animal getting ready for December 9th.
Yeah, it's going to be good, man. I'm excited for it. So check that out December 9th. It's on Showtime, is that right?
Yep, Showtime.
Showtime, check it out. Danny, thanks for coming in, man. This was fun. Pride of Stevenson, Pride of St. Vita, Purdue. Go check it out.
Awesome.
Well, no, you had one more question for me.
What was that?
Well, pre-show.
Pre-show? Well, no, I got everything I needed, man. That's what
I thought. No, there was like a one wrestling question. You were like,
well,
we
no,
gotta make sure.
Just talking to him and everything. It's great to know, like, just him talking how he is and how, you know, into talking shit and how cocky he is. It's just he is the guy you saw at the wrestling meets and he's sitting down at U of I. He's the guy who made it to the big stage in the MMA. He's the guy you saw wrestling around. Those fucking weird wrestling guys who are just, you know, fucking playing with each other's asses and shit. Fucking, you know, that's who it is, you know? That's, right. You know?
No, there are a bunch of fucking weird wrestlers. And I will say it, if you're not in the wrestling community and you're at a party and everybody's hammered, there will be fucking some drunk wrestlers going at it in the kitchen. You'll be like, what the fuck is going on? But I swear it's all in fun.
Exactly. I know. And I believe you. That's what I'm saying. So you only understand it if you've been around this group of guys. So I get it. So
yeah. It's a beautiful thing, man. Good luck. Go smash that motherfucker. Can't wait to watch. Can't wait to follow you. And I'd like to join the mafia. I don't know what that entails, but I want to join.
You're absolutely automatically in both these.
Awesome.
Thanks, Danny.
Danny, awesome. Good luck, man. Thanks for doing this again.
Yep. Thank you. Chicago for life.
Awesome.